Good morning. Jamie Gamble, 100 Days of Making Comics, day 30, I believe. You can find my stuff on monkeypipestudios.com, where all my comic stuff is. And I blog at jamiegamble.com, and I have a Patreon at patreon.com/jamiegamble. Yeah, it's morning. I've been working late and got up early, so I'm a little croaky, but I've been playing around with some ideas and doing a little bit of work and doing some kind of management stuff of plot lines, etc., which is always fun. I think that's my favourite part, actually. The scripting, I always just kind of switch off and get it done and then go through, and by the time I get to scripting, I never I'm not one of those people who just sits down, writes it, and then goes back, rewrites. I have it plotted so clearly by that stage that I kind of write in waves and I'll do 5 or 6 pages, then go back and rewrite a chunk, and then do the next 5 or 6 pages, and then pretty much get it done in one go through, and then we'll read through it, see if there's any fixes, and then send it to the artist, and then the artist, the people I work with, people I collaborate with, are very good at coming back with any questions or any problems, or redesigning stuff that needs to be redesigned to make it clearer, or getting the ideas across visually. So it's really nice to be working with people like that. Thank you guys and girls, Heather. And then I do another final read through for the script dialogue stuff before it goes to Frank. And Frank's excellent at again keeping me focused on stuff, making sure it's all clear. He's really good for that. He's not just a letterer, he actually is in a lot of ways he kind of does like a final edit for me, so it's really nice to have someone like that, to be working with someone like that. So thank you, Frank. I'm not going to say your second name because I always butcher people's second names, but he's fantastic, and Heather's fantastic, and Augustine and Gary and Andrew, and thank you everyone, and Jesse and Carl and Mum and Dad, and anyway, a couple of things I've been thinking about. I was kind of talking and thinking, I think I mentioned this before, but the whole previews thing, and I have a real, I know a lot of people think it sounds easy. You go, oh yeah, previews, I can sell a few thousand books that way. But if you look at the numbers of comic books selling at the moment, it's actually not super high. Once you get out of the top 10, I mean, the top selling book tends to be around about 100,000, and then it drops really quickly. There's very few books that hit what a lot of people consider to be a very sweet mark, which is the low to high teens. The teen section is where you could comfortably live and produce comics on a regular basis, I think. And not many people hit that. I've always had a grand ambition to sell 3,000 copies of a book, and I'm not sure if I've done that in the bundle that went out for South by Southwest through Comixology. I don't know if that counts, but I've always liked that idea. I like the idea of 3,000, such a nice, attainable number. I know it'll take a while to get there. I think Hero Code is probably sold, when all said and done, probably getting into the high hundreds. I know the original print run I did was about 300 copies, and I've done several prints. Actually, not several. I've done a few prints since then. Maybe it's more like 500. But anyway, it'd be nice to get those books up there, which is a good thing, a benefit of self-publishing, and indie stuff is the evergreen thing. I've always been a huge fan of the evergreen model for comic books, where you basically sell back and forward. You have your monthly titles that come out regularly through previews and through Diamond and the big publishers, and they still seem kind of disposable. They have the date on them that they're supposed to be taken down, or I think that's what they used to have anyway. And you read July's Batman, and then it's done, it's gone, and then you have to kind of search around and find it. And I always like the idea with indie comics is that you make an issue 1, and a few people check it out, and they like it, and then you make an issue 2, and then some people like that there's 2, and they'll check out 2 and 1, and then by the time you're on to 3 or 4 and 3, funny how it's always 3s. 3, I have this kind of respect for any indie creator that gets to issue 3 of any series that they're producing, because that's a real commitment. In my mind, that's a financial and a time commitment, which is pretty impressive. A lot of people put out an issue 1 or issue 1 and 2, and then it vanishes. But once you get to 3, I think there's a kind of nice sense of involvement at that stage, and having books that you're putting out, and then having someone come up and say, "Oh, you got 3, I'll take all 3," or whatever at a show. That's always a really nice thing. So there you go. And in saying that, I've just sent a final payment to Augustine for issue 3 of Hero Code. The interior artwork's done. Heather will be colouring that, I believe, in September. She's working on the Hero Code Theatre of the War at the moment, and then Frank will do his thing, and then I'll have 3 issues, and then I will feel happy, and then I will look more into previews, and that's it. Commitments and words, and I'm very tired. Sorry for rambling. I had a little existential crisis about comics. I keep having these waves of guilt about working on them, producing them, and feeling like I'm kind of letting my family down in some respects, because it's a time money drain, and I feel like I should be doing other stuff, but that comes and goes quite a lot. I still enjoy it, and if I keep feeling like this, maybe I'll slow down a little bit and not do as much. Once I've got Theatre of War 3 finished, I'm pretty much focusing on Hero Code and little side projects and get Department O finished. But it always feels like once I start saying stuff like that, I start adding and adding and adding. So I guess that's where the guilt comes from. And I work in an industry which is very day to day. I'm effectively self-employed on a day hire, so it's always worrisome at some level that I may be doing well now, but who knows. And I am responsible for my family, so that's that. But day 30 is done. Thank you all for listening to me croak on. It's the weekend, so I'll do a double episode at some point in the weekend. I have Black Rave Kickstarter books coming in, I believe. So this weekend I might be stuffing envelopes and addressing mailers and getting stuff ready to ship out. And it should be fun. Okay, have a good weekend, everyone. I'll see you later.